she doesn't like to bathe. She has scraps of foods and everything. She has a name of some kind. But for right now, we're just going to put first, last, and we'll come up with that. But as a way to commemorate the events here, we can give her personality traits like she stutters and other things that are fun. You know, I'm not here to rip on a piece of software. Maybe it's just having a bad night or it needs an upgrade or something. But especially because she was an urchin, right? And she doesn't really bathe that regularly, and she's this very scrappy person. She's gonna have the nickname of the Slob. That's what everyone seems to know her as, right? She's a very sloppy person, sloppy. So she is, you know, whatever, like Brunhilde the Slob, you know, Stone Beater or whatever. I mean, that's very, you know, generic fantasy name here. But we can roll with that. And you and I here will know that the Slob is the, you know, the wink of what has occurred this night as she, you know, has this sort of unfortunate background, and we can hopefully rescue her. We can rescue her from this fate. So, does this all work for you then, as a way to finish out this character? She's the ranger known as the Slob. Oh, goodness. Yeah, everything else is about done. Like, we got to give her some weapons. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this in the background. And once I get this Dropbox, or I can store it on Discord or something going, and I get this up. You all can access these characters, and you know they'll have some notes. Maybe I can find some character art for them that's fun, and we'll go from there. So, but anyway, I think for for what we're doing, this character is effectively done, and I need to find a way to get everything saved here. File. We're gonna save her as a character. She is still known as Dwarf Rain. Actually, we're gonna call her the Slob right now. There we go. This poor unfortunate character. I feel bad for her, but this just means that we're gonna be able to give her a really unique personality. All right. Let's come back here. Let's open this up. I'm gonna go to, actually not that. Open up D&D stuff. Okay. Is everything still coming through? Is this a 10-second delay? Here, I'll type in start count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are any of you hearing this? 11, 12, 13. 13. Three to 5 seconds? Okay. All right. Well then. seems like we're good. I'm going to continue then tonight's broadcast, and you know, darn it, we've stuck this out. We're going to get this second character done no matter what. Bring over dice roller. We can squeeze this down a little bit here. We're going to reset. And if we're good to go, we're good to go. Oh, let me see about this face cam. Let's see. Second here. Maybe it forgot my settings, because I originally used this before I saw that Streamlabs had a version of OBS, and I imported settings from there, and I've tweaked Streamlabs a ton, but I haven't come back to tweak the original OBS. Aha! I think I've shown up again. Did I magically appear in front of all of you? Ooh, spooky! I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm over here. And I'll find my home down here. We good still? Awesome. Yeah, we're in it again. We've done it. Talk about an exciting journey itself, right? It's an adventure just to tell a story. Wow. Okay, so welcome back, everyone in chat. We had an exciting adventure through the perils of ISPs, OBS, character creation, and all sorts of other things. But I can tell you, by taking this, scorch the earth and sky approach, we eventually got to being able to make our second character for the evening. Okay, well, I'm clear of cats, so I don't know if one's going to be hopping up here. Oh, golly gee. You know, if you can't laugh, you're going to cry, right? Anyway, let's get to this other character. Percentile, one roll. 61, this is going to make him a male. Remember, 1 to 45 was female, 46 to 90 was male. This isn't me being sleepy, this is me re-engaging with oxygen again, because I was holding my breath so much back there. 91 to 100 was multi-class, so we have a male. This is going to be a straight-up class now. Race is going to be a 1d10 and re-roll it. So we're actually going to hit 2d10. The first is going to determine the race, and then the second is going to determine if it is a sub-race of one kind or another. It's going to be race 3, sub-race 1, or odds for 1. Race 3, 1, 2, 3, halfling. It's going to be a Lightfoot Halfling. Okay. Alignment is going to be 2 percentile, 1 for each of the axes. Good, neutral, evil. Lawful, neutral, chaos. 87, 82. This is going to be, ooh, almost evil. We're tickling evil. Neutral, ooh, chaotic, neutral. This is good. Chaotic neutral is a very interesting personality to have. Howdy Lips asks, are there other feats in other D&D books to look at, or only the player's handbook? There are other feats. I would recommend that you check out the Sword Coast Adventure Guide and Xanathar's Guide to Everything. You'll find some things like race-only feats and some other class feats, things along those lines. I don't have them with me, as they're with my other RP books that are not here currently. But check those out. The one is also abbreviated as SCAG, S-C-A-G, for Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. And Xanathar's is very easy to identify because it has a big old beholder on the cover of it. And Pouty, if you or anyone else watching has any other questions at any point in time during character creation, whether it's for the character itself or what we're or just something else that's related, ask it. I'll be happy to answer and weave it together. This is a conversation, not just a lecture. So thank you for your participation in that. Okay, so we have this chaotic neutral character. Again, pardon my yawn. This is me oxygenating my blood here. Tickling evil, male halfling. Level, we're going to roll a percentile, 1, so we're going to change this back. 51. Oh yeah, and then we're going to see if there's any feats for this. So a 51 is going to put us here at level 9. So this is going to be X, Y, level 9. A 6 will indicate that we are stat bumps only. So straight up ability score improvements for this level 9. This level 9 what? Because next, since we've determined this, we're going to roll a d12 and see an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another ranger. Ooh, this is going to get interesting. Okay, rangers have more things to roll. We need a d4 fighting style. 1, which is archery. Pardon me again. Next, we have 1d8 for the natural explorer. This is going to be an 8. And a d2, or we'll just go... Okay. So this is even, so that's going to be a 2. So this is going to be a Beastmaster Ranger. 2 Rangers in one night, and of 2 different kinds. This is going to be interesting. If they don't have feet, look up peg legs. Yep. Or they can be like Hedonism Bot from Futurama and just sort of, you know, kind of walk around on a couch as a torso / couch. Background's going to be a 13. We're going to add the custom die down here and hit roll. Background number 9. Kind of like Mumbo number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Outlander. Ooh, wow, I'm just getting all kinds of story ideas now after our first one here. Outlander. We're going to roll a d10 to find out which kind of Outlander he is. Whoop, that's 2. Well, whatever. Hey, they're both 8s. We see which kind. Then we have our standard 2 personalities and the the 3 6s here. 3 and 2. The 2d8 is going to be a 1 and a 6. We're going to use these as placeholders. And then for the 3 6s, we have 5 2 5. Not concerning ourselves right now with what these are just yet. Pardon. I'm derping on the d8 that we rolled earlier for the... okay, there we go. The d8 was for the Natural Explorer. Underdark. This could be very interesting. Oh, I put it right here. Very cool. We have this down. Let's see. We have our background. We have these. So now we're just at some of the incidentals. Height and weight and age. Looking here at Halfling. He's going to start at 2 foot 7 inches, and we're going to add 2d4 inches to him. We're adding an extra 5 inches, so he is going to stand at a mighty 3 feet. Bada boom. We're taking this same number that we got here, 5, and we're multiplying it by 1 pound, adding it to 35, and he's going to weigh in at 40 pounds. Nice and easy. Now we're going to roll a percentile to determine which phase of life he's in. Again, you don't have to do this randomly. You can create a character, have him or her be as old as you want. This is just for storytelling purposes. 70. All right, 70 is going to be midlife. And for a halfling here, so 20 is young adulthood, 250 is venerable. We could probably start it then around probably 100, and we'll add a D50 to this. $132. There we go. What is a battle axe considered like a simple weapon or whatever? That is going to be a martial weapon, Pouty. And I'll show you where you can find that here real quick. Because we're going to have to pop over to the PHB now that we're finished with our random character generating worksheet. Drop this. Come over here. I'll show you, Pouty, real quick where you see this. So we're just past armor, and here we are at weapons. Martial melee weapons starting right here, if you can see it highlight, and there's battle axe. Simple weapons are up here at the top. Club, dagger, great club. A hand axe is considered simple, but a battle axe, because it does require, you know, it's heavier, it does more damage, requires more expertise, is considered to be a martial weapon. This is page 149 in chapter 5. Alright, let's go back to background, because in our random character generating storytelling fashion, we're starting here to get more ideas about who he is, and also when we start bleeding over into pure mechanics, this is going to give us proficiency in different skills that we don't want to be redundant with his race and his class. We're going to pop down to Outlander. Alright, you grew up in the wilds, far from civilization, in the comforts of town and technology. You've witnessed the migration of herds larger than forests, survived weather more extreme than any city dweller could comprehend, and enjoyed the solitude of being the only thinking creature for miles in any direction. I think we found maybe a mentor in how the slob went from being this street urchin in a city to then go into the wilds and learn how to survive. See, these things write themselves. You know, you just gotta you gotta trust in it. Athletics and survival are going to be the background, the tool or skill proficiencies. One type of musical instrument we're getting, I'm going to put that in brackets so we can come back and fill that in. And then a language of our choice. Being a halfling, we get common, halfling, and a background language, which we'll fill in when we develop more of his personality. It's probably going to end up being Dwarven, given the link. But let's keep it in our brains in case, hey, I don't know, something happens. Equipment. Staff, we could probably say quarterstaff if we really wanted. Hunting trap, animal trophy of some kind. We can fill these in also with something more customizable, but this is what the book is giving us. Traveler's clothes, belt pouch, and we have 10 GP to spend at level 1 anyway. Mighty 3 feet tall, says Perugia. I like the way of a halfling shrinks people and makes fun of their shortness, then punches them in the face. Yeah, reduce and enlarge can be a fun spell for them. Were you able to find the page and everything on your end, Pouty Lips? Come back up here. We rolled the origin as an 8. This is a tribal nomad. Our feature is a wanderer. You have an excellent memory for maps and geography, and you can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. In addition, you can find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people each day, provided that the land offers berries, small game, water, and so forth. Okay. Now we're going to come down here and start filling in. We're going to paint by numbers. We're going to paint his personality. 1. I'm driven by a wanderlust that led me away from home. And 6, I'm always picking things up, absently fiddling with them, and sometimes accidentally breaking them. Boy, hopefully he doesn't mean the Dwarven companion. Although she was kind of breaking OBS, so... Oh. His ideal is number 5. Nature. The natural world is more important than all the constructs of civilization. And while this is neutral, and he is chaotic neutral, again, if he was lawful good, we could find a way to still weave this into his personality. It's nothing more than one extra fun mental hurdle for us to exercise our brains over. Yep, what does Relentless Endurance as a barbarian do? Alright, I'll get to that in just a second. Let me finish out with this section of backgrounds, Pouty Lips, and I'll scroll up for that real quick. The bond is number 2. An injury to the unspoiled wilderness of my home is an injury to me. And lastly, his flaw is number 5. Violence is my answer to almost any challenge. Why don't you come down here and say that? Oh, he's gonna be like this mean little, like, gnarly halfling. Oh, he's seen some things in his days. All right. So we have this outline of who he is, and partly an engine about what drives him. It's time to fill in some more details. Pardon. We're going to come back up to Barb real quick for Pouty Lips. And you're asking about relentless endurance. Are you meaning relentless rage? Is that what you're talking about, Pouty Lips? Or am I missing something of yours here? Because there's that's the only thing offhand that I'm seeing. If you did mean relentless rage, then starting at 11th level, your rage can keep you fighting despite grievous wounds. In other words, you're just too angry to die. That's a good way to summarize it, but it's here real quick. If you want to take a look, I'm going to pop back over here. What else? Oh yeah, alright, so we're going to go back up to race, and we're going to go over what a halfling, a Lightfoot Halfling receives for stat bumps. Races. Where's our happy little minstrel halfling? There she is. Look at that. She is just jamming out with a big shock of hair. Alright. All halflings get Dex 2 as a bump. Speed is going to be 25, you know, or in this case, he, because his legs are short. You kind of start with a feat in Lucky. When you roll a 1 on an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can re-roll the die. And they are brave. You have advantage on saving throws against being frightened. You may be small, but that doesn't mean you're just going to run away. No problem, Pouty Lips. I'm glad I was able to help you out there. If you want to talk about what you're constructing in chat too, by all means, please do so. I may be constructing a character here in front of you and kind of having some story time, but you all can share your own adventures, characters that you're working on, ask questions, share all that stuff. Oh, all right, yeah, Perugia looks like there's an answer too. All right, thank you for filling in, Perugia. Zelda says, by the way, welcome Zelda, Zelda Master 52. A little barbarian version that requires you to make a DC 10 con save. Yeah. Yep, you're very angry. It's more difficult for you to die, but eventually someone could beat death into you. Halfling Nimbleness. You can move through the space of any creature that is of a size larger than yours. We already have our languages, and then a sub-race. We're going to increase our Cha by 1. And this helps in being a ranger. We are naturally stealthy. You can attempt to hide even when you're obscured by a creature that is at least one size larger than you. Now that that's set up, come down to classes, and we're going to revisit the ranger, because we have inadvertently rolled into sort of a senpai-kohai relationship between our first character, which was a hill dwarf ranger, and now here we have a Lightfoot halfling ranger, and he's a beastmaster while she trained in the hunting ways. Monk, a little bit further. Here's our old Pally Din. Rangers, hey, here we go. He's level 9. There's a couple things that we can do here, right? We're at level 9. We're going to check this out. Proficiency is going to be a +4. Hit point max, we're starting at the 10 of a ranger, plus con, plus 8 times half plus 1, plus 8 times con mod. There we go, a little bit of algebra to set up, nothing too complex. It's going to have 9d10 hit dice. Do that real quick while we're thinking about it. There we go. Strength and Dex are the saving throws. Armor, light, medium, and... Well, if it's light, medium, heavy, and then shields, we'll just do this to save some space. Weapons. Simple and martial. No extra tools. We have our... Okay. Choose 3 from animal handling, athletics, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth, and survival. Oh, boy. Well, the Wanderer background trait doesn't really make survival itself as necessary. Not that it doesn't have a place. It would be slightly redundant, but not completely. But if we look at his personality, what would this person grow up and train into? Pouty asks, do I happen to live in Georgia? No, unfortunately I don't. I live in Ohio. Though, why, were you looking for a game? I've been through Georgia, but I do not live down there. And Perugia is tempting the deck again. Oh boy. Well, yeah, at least the dagger survived, right? yeah, it must be a return dagger. Alright, so we have this chaotic neutral, this Outlander Beastmaster. I think, well, Beastmaster, boom. Animal handling for sure. He gets that, but let's have him interact with other beasts as well. I'm driven by a wanderlust, okay? I'm always picking things up and fiddling with them, sometimes accidentally breaking them. So I wonder in this case if we couldn't... The natural world is more important than the constructs of civilization. An injury to the unspoiled wilderness of my home is an injury to me. So maybe in this case, where our Dwarven Ranger didn't have... her intelligence was her dump stat. Maybe he's actually more intelligent. Now, he's using that in these, chaotic, I prefer nature ways. But we can make him more intelligent and go the nature and investigation route. This way, as he comes up and he can say, oh yeah, this was a lightning strike or a natural fire. Or he can say, no, this was a bunch of people doing slashing and burning, and I gotta visit them and have stern words for them. Now, if you in the audience think that he, going off of the personality information, if he would be better served by a different skill set, let me know. We can change it up. But these are my initial ideas, right? We're trying to paint this character. We're trying to build him around a concept. And these are the 3 that really stood out to me based on his class and his background and his personality traits. Pouty Lips, so I have a Discord. I have made a Discord channel, but I haven't set it up fully just yet. I've had a lot of you ask as you've come and gone through chat, so I will tell you please look forward to it, and I will make it a goal that this week I will have a link, and then we can invite you, and then we can talk through Discord, share character art pictures. If you want to see any of the files that we've made of characters, then I can send them. I think I should be able to send a PDF through Discord to you all. Otherwise, I'm sure we can figure something out. Because if not Discord, then I can maybe make a Dropbox or something like that. I think there's another service called Grapevine that might be able to work. Rhodey. Oh, hey, thanks, Rhodey. Yeah, I'll talk to you about that then. I run a... Well, I don't necessarily run. I co-run a Lalafell-only Final Fantasy XIV one. But I haven't done a lot of the back-end stuff. I'm more of the social, like moderator, prompter of things, and we'll go. If Seo's still here, he can talk a little bit about that. Okay. Oh, where were we before we got on this tangent? Tangents are fine. I love going on them because it's all story, it's all connected. We're filling the character right. We did the skills, bada boom, down here. Then we're going to get a little bit more starting equipment. Now, will this character by level 9 have all the first level starting equipment? Probably not. Maybe more or so. We can always throw in a magic item by this point, maybe. That's not as important, but going through the motions of character creation, which is this, like, this is D&D 101 that we're doing right now. This is solid fundamental stuff. Let's do it like this. I wanted to discuss with a more experienced player about my character and adjusting them. For right now, Pouty, if you want, you can send me a whisper on Twitch, as some others have done, and we can have a conversation about it through there. Or after we finish this character, my broadcasts are generally broken up into 3 parts. 1 and 2, which have different content, and then I always save part 3 for questions and answers. We can tell stories if you want to prompt a story from me about, oh, what's an experience I had, or I can do one from you, and we can share back and forth. And that's a good time to do it too. So whatever's going to work best for you, let me know. Alright, let's give him leather armor, 2 short swords, or 2 simple melee weapons. He's going fighting style archery. We're probably going to do two simple weapons of some kind, because that can even be like a backup bow, or that could even be like a, I don't know, even a club, right? If he's a bit of a, like an Unga Bunga caveman halfling. Oh, no, not Explorer's Pack. Nope. We need to pay attention to our rolls here. He got his start, at least at level 1 here, in the Underdark. So he has this experience. In fact, maybe he's seen some things down there that have driven him to the surface, or he's going to get another Natural Explorer category. But this is an intrinsic part. We have to consider this for our story. And yes, he may be above ground now, but if he's been to the Underdark and has experience, he's probably going to go back, meaning that a Dungeoneer's pack would be more appropriate, especially for starting gear, because this is still level 1-ish stuff that we're doing. If I ever do that again, and I don't catch myself, I need you guys to just, like, bop me on the forehead and say, like, pay attention to the personality, or, hey, wouldn't he go like this because of, wouldn't he do X because of Y? I won't take it as an offense, because this isn't my character, this is our character, and I've done this for years and years, but that doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes. And then a longbow with a longbow with 20 arrows. Alright, Rhodey. Well, maybe I'll pick your brain a little bit later about Discord then. It does seem like you have a pretty good self-made pedigree there. Alright. We get another one of these. You choose additional favorite terrain types at 6th and 10th. So he's just about ready to get his 3rd favorite terrain type. But he does have another one from level 6. Let's come over here. And we're going to roll a d8, because there are 8 different terrain types, and we're going to re-roll Underdark if he gets that, which is number 8. 2. The second, then, is Arctic. It's going to be Coast. Okay. As a Natural Explorer, you get all of this stuff. It's pretty good. And also, Rangers, while they can seem like lonesome characters, they are very good in parties, and they make natural party leaders because of those abilities. So, can't get lost, you're traveling alone, you move stealthily, when you forage, you find twice as much food, meaning that while the Wanderer allows for a certain amount, it's redundant if you're foraging in those areas to get even more of that food. And don't even just think about survival. This could also be, if he lives on the coast, he could be getting twice as much fish, and he could sell it at market for income, for example. You can think about things economically, or socially, or religiously. I don't know, maybe he makes a sacrifice of the seaweed that he gathers, or something along those lines. Alright, so we have our Natural Explorer. We have our fighting style. That was archery, as randomly determined. Spellcasting, we'll get to spellcasting. Favorite enemy. Beginning at first level, you have significant experience studying, tracking, hunting, and even talking to a certain type of enemy. Choose one type of favorite enemy, and there's a list. Alternatively, you can select 2 races of humanoids, such as gnolls and orcs, as favorite enemies. And then we have some bonuses when we're dealing with those particular creatures, as well as their language, so that we can interact with them. We are going to get another one at 6th level, so we have 2 favorite enemies to choose, and also we're going to get favorite enemy language 1 and favorite enemy language 2. Steel Dust says, I can feel my SWTOR Altaholic coming back out. I can't stop making characters. Perugia Underdark something? Is that in reference to the character we're generating or something else? Doge, your enemy is the Doge. Much enmity. Hard to track, very much. Wow. Aberrations, beasts, celestials, constructs, dragons, elementals. There's a lot here. We'll come back and fill those in as well, because we want to develop his personality and get a little bit of a story. And even if we don't this session, next session we're going to generate another random character, so we're going to have 3, and then we're going to do a map making section. Well, it so happens that we randomly generated 2 rangers, and they overlap on coast, and on top of that, not only that, they overlap by being rangers and also who share an archery style. So I think we've actually manifested, right? We've opened up Schrodinger's his cat box, and now we've like locked in what our land looks like and the people who are living around it, or at least where this adventure, where this module that we're making every week is going to take place. So we can always come back and touch them up on Saturday, and that's when we make our party of PCs in the first segment, and then we talk about running that game as a DM in the second segment. Sayo, in response to earlier, I'm half here doing maps with Lou. Oh, okay. Well, tell Lou I say hi, and that we're being big old D&D nerds. Hopefully you get some good stuff, or you go to the Aquapolis or wherever you're heading out to, Sayo. Prugia says that we're skilled at hunting. You mean hunting like denizens of the Underdark? Because that could be something like Drow, if we chose a specific humanoid race. Alright, so we have those listed for favorite enemy. We have 2 slots open, and we have the slots for the languages. We're going to get to spellcasting, and then we have our archetype. We're going to get a couple other things here too from our class, because rangers get a lot of utility stuff. Primeval awareness. This is you burn a spell slot as ranger, and you send out kind of like a bing, like a natural sonar, and you get some information back based on what's going on around you. We are going to get 2 attacks, and with that longbow, oh, that's going to be putting in some work. Land stride. That means that we're able to get through difficult terrain easier. And if we run through a rose bush completely with what we were born with, we'll come out without a scratch. Or, I mean, we might get some scratches, but it won't be as bad as it should be. Because we're just that good. And he's just tickling, right? He's level 9, he's just tickling hide in plain sight. Which will be really cool, because as a halfling, if you remember, he gets this naturally stealthy. And that can transform into some really cool combos you can do with this character. Alright, we're not going to worry about those other ones. He's not high enough level yet. He is not a hunter. We're going to come back over here to Beastmaster. The Beastmaster archetype embodies a friendship between the civilized races and the beasts of the world. United in focus, Beast and Ranger work as one to fight the monstrous foes that threaten civilization and the wilderness alike. Emulating the Beastmaster archetype means committing yourself to this ideal, working in partnership with an animal as its companion and friend. There we go. Did you watch the Beastmaster movie? Like the old, probably like mid to late 80s movie? I thought that was really cool. You know, it was very inspirational to me as a kid. Might have led partially to my interest in things like D&D, right? Because you got a lot of like Get Ye Flash times, like barbarian movies. You got Conan and all that other stuff. Red Sonja, but I'll tell you, there was a part in that movie that really terrified me, and those were with those kind of like flying people. And if you've seen the movie, you probably know what I'm talking about. You know, when you're like a little, whatever, 6-7-year-old kid, that's spooky stuff. Like they were attacked once and they have studied the creature so that the next time I get to have some level of respect for the tactics Drow use. Oh yeah, that's right, Rhodey. They did make it a show. In the show, I forget, did they keep his 2 ferrets? Because he had 2 ferrets that were amazing. Oh my gosh, in the movie, it was really good stuff. If you haven't seen the Beastmaster, do yourself a favor, rent it. I don't know if it's on Netflix or something, but especially if you want some good some good D&D inspiration or just like a good fantasy movie, I'd watch it. Sealda says, I was curious about how you would handle the Horizon Walker in your personal campaign, with it having no different planes. Can you give me the specific reference for Horizon Walker? I know that there was... are you talking about in a previous edition, like the 3rd edition? Because I think that was a prestige class. And there might have been something similar in 4th, and if that's the case, I can help you out with that, because we did some 4th edition stuff because of the no planes. And actually, Steel, I appreciate you remembering that that is the case. As a full disclaimer to you all here, while the D&D books consider things like extra dimensional spaces exist and that everything is a multiverse, in my personal campaign there are no extra planes, and so we have modified spells and other things appropriately for that still provide function and flavor, but we don't use multiple planes. Ranger's Companion. You have a beast companion that accompanies you on adventures and is trained to fight alongside you. Choose a beast that is no larger than medium and has a challenge rating of 1/4 or lower. Appendix D presents statistics for the Hawk, Mastiff, and other Panther as examples. Add your proficiency bonus to the beast's AC. Alright, so this is when you become a Beastmaster. Your DM might flavor this as going on some sort of spirit quest, or and if you have a barbarian who's going the totem warrior, that's a cool thing like you two might be able to do together, and it would form like bonds of brotherhood or friendship between you. It might even be the same shared animal, right? So maybe the animal appears, befriends the ranger, but also the barbarian draws power from it. And so again, you got this like brotherly thing, or it could be between a significant others of some kind, or maybe brothers as in brothers, like you're bonded by family, or like you're brothers in a tribe, or even it's just sort of like a platonic, like we're brothers in ideal. But you can do some cool role-playing stuff with this. Hungry is here. Well, welcome, Hungry. We're making a second ranger for the night. Our first up here, you can see, has an unfortunate nickname, and there's a story behind that too that I can get back to if any of you are new here, or if you've lurked and not really seen what was happening. I'll tell you why she's the slob. Let's see. It's a Horizon. Oh, okay. I don't have my Xanathars with me, and I haven't played Rangers in a very long while, so I haven't paid particular attention to it. If you bring up some of the aspects that you are unsure of, how I would make work, Steel, go ahead and put them in chat, and then I can get back to you on that. But unfortunately, it's not in the front of my brain because I haven't retained those aspects of Ranger in that expansion. Sir Rhodey, I think the show has the ferrets. Yeah. I mean, that was the age too. So the '80s had like the barbarian movies, but the '90s had Hercules, Xena. Oh, geez. Then you had some of the sci-fi ones because that was what like SG-1. What was the submarine one? Not Sea Lab, but it was the one where they were all in this big, like, kind of like quasi, like a biological submarine, they had their own like dolphin bay and all that stuff. Neat. My buddy plays a Goblin Beastmaster, Wolf Totem. Oh, hey. Well, you can probably see then how they can weave in together pretty well, and you can take on some really cool roleplay aspects and get some good crunch stuff out of it too. All right, so we're gonna have to choose a companion at some point in time, whether it's this broadcast or we come back and we tweak these two, because we're definitely gonna be. Oh, hi. Well, everyone, here's my beast companion. He's a very ferocious. He's a furred slug. As you can see, he just sort of slugs around. He's got the beautiful gray and stripes and the tan underbelly. And he just kind of oozes all over everything. Over your shoulder, over your chair. He oozes all over my desk and in front of the camera. Perugia, it's not Sea Lab like the cartoon. It was, unless that was the actual name of the live-action show. But it was a sci-fi action show that everyone was on a submarine. By the way, there's a cat butt for you. You're welcome. I keep thinking SG-1, but that's Stargate. Hi, it's not polite. Put that down. We good? Here. Come down here. Okay. Yep, a tabaxi. A wild tabaxi appeared. Yeah, he's Rhodey. He's really just a slug. He's a slug with fur. Okay, so we have a ranger's companion. And exceptional training. At 7th level, on any of your turns when your beast companion doesn't attack, you can use a bonus action to command the beast to take the dash, disengage, dodge, or help action on its turn. And then we're not going to worry about Bestial Fury or share spells, because he's not quite there yet. A lot of this archetype for Beastmaster relies on your pet and the bond that you build. A 1/4 challenge rating creature can die easily, which is why as a Beastmaster you get these bonuses. As well, you must know that, speaking as a DM who did have someone who played a Beastmaster, you really should be aware at what both your characters can do simultaneously on your turn. That way you're not left, and I'm not complaining to the guy who was running it because it was all a learning curve, but it can slow things down because you're effectively adding another PC into the initiative and into the role-playing. While we might not have an epic backstory for your animal, and hey, maybe there is one, it still is a part of you, and it goes where you go, or at least most of the time, I'd imagine. My thoughts to your thoughts. Here, let me get the mind meld on camera here. My thoughts to your thoughts. So you have to take that into consideration if you're playing a Beastmaster. You're effectively, you're dual boxing characters. You have two characters that you're playing. And both, you should focus development on you as the humanoid character. But you should also develop your pet some too. I'm sorry, Steel, I missed what you said there. It has integral parts with finding and protecting portals to other planes, along with abilities like plane shift. So what that would end up doing is that would be routed more into teleportation. So it would protect teleportation portals, linked portals, things like that. There's something akin to a subspace that is what allows for teleportation to take place. So while it is not a destination, it's not a plane itself that you go to, but it is something that you go through. And so in this case, a Horizon Walker might be someone who is like a flight marshal and polices this interstitial space, or patrols and keeps these very like liminal areas from being abused by people. They could be, you know, checking people through portals to make sure that, you know, if you have a portal going to a major city, you obviously don't want someone who can just summon up a bunch of demons or whatever. So you can run it that way in the context of the world that I've placed. Hopefully that's a direction in what you're going. Again, if you have more specifics, you can put them in chat. Otherwise, I can glance at Xanathars and we can talk about it in chat on like tomorrow night or through whispers if you want. If I may input, but your beast choice can make for some neat gameplay. It can, and you know what? We have a halfling. Halflings enjoy riding mastiffs or other, you know, like big dogs and whatnot. There's nothing necessarily saying that we haven't just created this sort of like this little chaotic neutral like this little like Hellion like quasi paladin, right, riding around on his noble steed, avenging nature and going from there. You can put a lot of fun into that too. It makes sense. I was just curious about some RP ideas. Yeah, I can go into more into that because feel free to pick my brain about that anytime you want, Steel. And anyone else too, if you have questions about either what I do or maybe there's a concept that you want to bring up at home. Okay, well, a lot of this is filled in now. Yeah, my buddy's a wolf rider. Okay, that makes sense, Hungry. Archery, we're definitely going to favor decks, especially if we're going leather. So I think we should plop in our high decks here. Remember, we're using a standard array. He is going intelligence, right, with nature and investigation. So maybe put in the 14, 13, 12, 10, but you know what? We'll make him a little frail. Would you do this at home with your character? Maybe not. I don't know. Every class can use Constitution, though this is a way to show that, you know, he can be fierce, he can put in work, but he's just not. He's not as hardy. Maybe he is kind of getting on in years. He's 132. He's in midlife. But maybe this is also why he chose to get a beast companion, right? If his health is, it's not failing, but he's just not as constitutionally sturdy as others. And so to help him out with that, and especially by having a 10 strength, he has this animal companion to help him out. And then eventually he's going to meet our first ranger that we made here during the dark times of the first broadcast with OBS stuttering. and she can help him out a little bit too. So for roleplay purposes, we can put Constitution at 8, and it will affect his hit points. But you know what? He can sit back and plink into combat and let his animal rush in and do the melee fighting. Especially because she is really good at getting in the middle of things. She has hit points for days, and she's fine with having swings taken on her. So we have a partnership. We've now developed 2 characters as if we're sitting together making a party and saying, oh yeah, so this is what I'm strong at, this is what I'm weak at, and then I'll cover your weakness if you cover mine, and now we have a nice balanced party, even if it's of only 2. Alright, let's throw in our charisma, because we do want him to be able to convey himself. He just doesn't necessarily do it well. And while violence is his answer to almost any challenge, he may not be trained in intimidation. And not that at a future levels he couldn't take that as a feat, the training to get 3 skills or a tool of your choice and 2 skills. that might be something that he'd legitimately go into. Alright, these can drop out now. He is going to get 2 ASIs, or ability score improvements. Remember, we rolled randomly that he is not taking feats in random character generation. What could we do here? I think it would be wise to bump these up. And so our first one is going to be 1 to 2 instead of 2 to 1. So Wisdom will go to 14 and Charisma will go to 14. And then we should keep him Dexterous, and we'll put Dexterity at 19. And so he can even take a feat that will allow him to get a point in Dex and still get an extra ability as well when he finally hits 12. Pouty Lip says, I'm going to purchase 2,000 ball bearings, and the next time my group fights a ton of people, I'm going to throw... Yeah. That's a good way to have a bit of a Home Alone 2 hijinks. And they're probably a little kinder on the feet than caltrops are. Have fun with it and use it in your story. If you do that, Pouty Lips, I would love for you to come back in here, whatever night it is. Come back in here and tell us what happened as you drop those 2,000 ball bearings behind you. Oh, goodness. You all are wonderful. I'm so fortunate to have an audience that comes by. You know, whether you're new, you're old, you're lurking, you're chatting. You all really make this so much fun. And in return, I hope to give you a good time too. That said, don't forget to try and slaughter each other by dueling. Exclamation point duel, space the name of the person you want to duel, and then the space the amount you want to put up for bid. Or you can draw from the deck of many things with exclamation point deck. There's also some chat commands. It's all on the bottom of the screen of the chat channel. All right, so strength is going to be 4. Whoops. That. I'm going to put a minus here. In other characters, I put the plus, but it's just extra time. Number is going to be positive unless I specifically say it's negative. 2, 2, 2. Oh. Well, Steel, if you try and defeat Pouty, you better watch out, because Pouty's going to drop some ball bearings. Unless we have another random encounter with a furred slug. Which maybe that might be a fun session to go into creating custom monsters. Maybe we can create a furred slug sometime. Oh, goodness. 8. -1. 2, 2, 2. So he's not super specialized. He's rounded. Acrobatics. What do we got? That's Dex. What else is Dex? Dun, 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 dun. Very good. Animal handling is Whiz. Gonna get a 6 there. 2 insight, 2 medicine, 2 perception, and 6 survival. Next up is Arcana, which is int. So we have a 2, 2, 6, 6, and a 2. Strength is going to be a 4. And then we have our Chaw Bra. 2, 2, 2, and 2. Now we're going to carry down our passive perception is going to be 12. That's 10 plus the modifier. That's your general awareness, right? If I'm broadcasting and I hear, I don't know, someone come in my front door, I'm going to notice that even though I'm paying attention to you and I'm talking with you and typing on a computer. Crossbow damage is a joke. I eat those arrows for lunch. Oh, if you want to, if you're new here, you have, you can do exclamation point 1d20 if you want to sort of publicly roll something. Or 1d100. And I can add some other dice if you really want, but these are the two main success or failure generating ones. Hey, there we go. I'm a little bit better on there. Okay. Now that we have our con, which is -1, this is actually going to be 9. And this is going to end up being -8. Okay, so that's going to be a 34, 43, so he's going to have 53 hit points. There we go. Initiative is going to be a +4, unless he goes on to take a feat, which there is a feat that I think will even make him a little twitchier with Dex and give him like a +5 to initiative. So if we level him up to 12 at some point in time, that would be a good one to take, especially if you wanted to pilot this character. Armor class, he's wearing leather armor, so that's AC 11 plus full Dex, so he has a 15 right now. Oh, Perugia, what did you get? You've been tempting this deck a lot. It's going to spank you sometime. 25 pieces of jewelry. Hey, nice. You cashed in. Payout. Alright. What I want you to do in chat, we've developed this character, right? We've talked about his personality. We've talked about who he is, what he does. He's this middle-aged halfling who's all about... He's kind of like a Captain Planet. He's definitely not above inciting violence, though, in order to protect the habitat, or something about the habitat, even. It could even not even just be, oh, well, I want to protect the trees. It could very well be, I know something exists here that doesn't need woken up, and it's going to wake up if you guys continue to do this. I'm going to stop you because I can't have this happen. Which was kind of a story. If you go back to the YouTube channel, in our first map making section, we developed an entire mod almost around that idea. Alright, but anyway, for chat, we need a character name, and also, as we're talking about this halfling, describe him. His skin, his hair, his eyes. Not just green eyes. Are they green predatory eyes? Are they wide eyes? Maybe he has heterochromatic eyes, or for some reason he was born with, instead of having round pupils, maybe he has slitted pupils like a cat, or even rectangular ones like a goat. And so this was some kind of a sign that he was going to be a Beastmaster, because he had some sort of a quality. And it could be his eyes, his skin, his hair. The Totem Warrior Barbarian actively encourages that manifestation. Does that happen here? No, but there's nothing saying that cosmetically you couldn't tweak your character. And then, run it past your DM and say, look, this is what I want to do, these are my reasons why. And she or he will work with you and say yay or nay. So, tell me about this character. What does he look like? Does he have like dreadlocks? Is everything pulled back into like a braid or a ponytail? Does he have a lot of facial hair? Yeah, as a halfling, he has hair on the top of his feet, but does he have facial hair, longer hair, mutton chops? And what kind of a name is popping out to you? Like, is it a proper name? Does he only go by? What the locals call him? Does he just go by a sound? Perugi says, no, me and the deck are good friends. It just didn't give me a dagger. Nice full body tan and enough gold to buy all new gear. That's a friend. Alright, so throw some ideas out there. Then we're going to come back up here. He is 9th level, so we can go to page 3. We are going to... our spellcasting ability is Wisdom. This is going to be, your spell save DC is 8 plus your proficiency plus your modifier. So that's going to be 2 is 8 is 10, so that's going to be a 14. And then the other one's going to be 6. There we go. Alright, we are 9th level. Come back down here. We get 432. We don't get any cantrips. There we go. We know 6 spells. Okay. So, on the first one, I didn't fill out her spellcasting completely, and this is something we can go back and tweak as well. I'm not going to worry about the specific spells for him because I'm going to wrap up this segment and take a break, and then we're going to come back into winding things down and going into general, like Q&A, story time, that kind of a thing. But we're gonna have 6 spells known. Now we get no cantrips, and this is telling us that we're kind of like a wizard, or maybe it's more appropriate to say like a sorcerer, in that we're definitely not clerics or druids that have their entire spell list available every time that they wake up, and then they just choose what they want. You're kind of locked in as a ranger, though when you level up, and if you take a new spell, you can use that opportunity to swap out a spell. So you have limited mutability, but you can slowly change your spell list over time. But anyway, we get 2 here. And then when we hit level 2, we're going to indicate, this is my indication to you all. I would recommend organizing it some fashion. I don't know if you have, your DM should trust you and you should not cheat with your spells. But if you have your spells organized similar to this, you can show your DM, yeah, these are the levels that I took each of my spells. Now, level 3, oh, I'm sorry. Technically this is level 2 when we get our spellcasting. So we get that at level 3. At level 4, we do not get a new spell. Though at level 5, we do get a new spell. And that spell can be either first, right? Because we know first level spells, or it can be second. It would probably be wise to take something there. That way we have the ability to cast at least one higher level spell. Because we only know 6 still. Wait, is that 3? Oh, I'm sorry. We can't do 1 and 1 because we have. Now I'm confusing myself. Sorry. I want to make sure I'm doing this right for you, and I'm way overthinking this. So we have 2 at 2. At 3rd level we have 3. There we go. At 4th level, we still have 3 and nothing new. So, 4th level doesn't have one. 5th level, we know 4 spells, and one of those can be here. So there's our 4 spells known. We still only know 4 spells. Alright, so that was 5. We still only know 4 at 6. At level 7, we can learn 1 more, and it can be first or second. Let's just put this down here for right now. At level 8, we still only know 5 spells. And then at level 9, we get 1 more spell, and that spell can be 3rd level. There we go. Sorry if I made this confusing for you. I had to make sure that I was doing this out loud and in a way that was making sense for you all. If you have questions about how this works, you can ask it, and I'll be happy to go over it again with you. Alright, so this is how we would determine how many spells we know, and then we can go through and pick them out. And then, of course, we have the amounts of each level that we can cast during any given day. Alright, another Rhodey's Tempting Fate 2. Your servant. Yay, you got one. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to wet my whistle. I have some tea that I've been drinking. I'm going to get up and do some stretches. I suggest for all of you, hey, get up, and if you have a furry slug of your own to say hi to, give him or her a pet. And I'm going to go AFK, and then I'll come back, and we're just going to I'm not going to record it. We're not going to be filling in worksheets. It's just going to be pure conversation. You and me in the moment of this evening talking, nothing on record. We can ask questions, I'll tell stories, and it's just going to be us time. And it's gonna last as long as it lasts, and then it's gonna be gone, and we'll get to savor it. Okay? Cool. Well, thank you for joining me in this segment.